I have a small question but a very tough question to Mr. Ramachandra. You see, the background of the question is, once when the new regulations, new standards, actually the system is totally changing, upside down. Once when the systems are changing, after some time, people realize that until yesterday what we did is wrong. Am I correct? Yes. We know that, okay, until last year we were, and electrical installation, the speciality of electrical installation is whatever we did wrong, you cannot correct because your building is already constructed. Now if you wanted to correct, you have to entirely change the electrical installation. Most of the time, the modification is very difficult. 100% compliance is not possible, especially with respect to, not only with respect to safety, which is related to reliability also. For example, the hint of the question is, little bit tough to answer. Equally, the electronic equipment safety, somebody was talking in between, some drive and some equipment were failing. Equally, internationally, about 12, 13 years back for data centers, the electronic protection, especially EMI, EMC, HEMP protection, these were already implemented. Now this has not started yet in India, it is going to start. But once when, one of the hindrance, one of the stopping point for not implementing is the mind, the people's mind, even Microsoft engineers are asking for separate. You know what is separate? Two for neutral, two for body. They were asking. But once when these people realize that this was wrong, then they will try to find out what next. And after some time, they will realize that the data centers in the country are working, number one, without any safety, number two, without any electromagnetic protection for the electronic items which has to be protected. Now imagine after 2 years, a big data center, the company who has hired this or leased this place, he realizes that my equipment are in trouble, there is no guarantee, let me vacate this place and go to a new place. This can happen. Believe me, this can happen because the foreign companies already started implementing it. But once when they come to India, after some time, once when they realize that these things are missing, they try to change. Under that condition, even if we have data center buildings which is empty, the question is, what do we do with these buildings? Are these buildings changeable to some other structure, something like that? Because these are huge infrastructure.
That's a very easy question, isn't it, for the afternoon? Yeah, I think first thing I really pity for the people who actually have built that particular facility without having these basic things. See, be it a global customer coming into India or customers from India, when they build any facilities which is mission critical, the basic thing which you go through is your electrical installations, including your cooling and everything, plus the electromagnetic interferences and the EMC equipments, which will ensure that the basic protections are available. Now, where I see it is that, the companies like Microsoft or Meta or Facebook, Google, when they come in, they come with certain global standards. That's one beautiful thing which we have seen. As we see in the normal buildings, unless somebody insists that I don't mind spending the capex, and they still want to have that design, only then everybody will start looking at it. I call it as an ABC community, architects, builders, and consultants, right? So they may come in one shot or they may come in different places. Now, if the customer is ready to actually get these things implemented, it is us in India to show that what we are capable of. It is not that these things are not available in our standards, it's just that the mentality for us to ensure that it is designed. Beyond the design, the main thing post that is your implementation. Again, implementation it's between 2 points, connecting the dots, right? So I might get a very beautiful RFP comprising all the protection systems, and I design it on my papers. Ultimately, it will be done by these contractors at the site. Now that is where the checks and balances come into picture, whether the kind of products which we use. I was listening to somebody in the afternoon saying that in outside, where I worked in Australia and New Zealand for about 8 years, if I buy any product in the data center, whether it is power, cooling or anything, if it has to go through certain standards, procedures and the codal requirement, it is given for 100% that this will be complied to that. So you don't have to actually go back and check. So once you start using such products coming into India, I think data center has been doing well in that particular concept. Coming back to Gopa, your question, if the buildings are still built without those basic necessities, I guess there may be something else which we need to look at in terms of audit them from priority-wise, what can be done the first, and then you can look at how to implement it. That's going to be a long journey, but looking at what's going in India for a data center industry, I think most of things are there. It is just that we need to do the final mile connectivity between design and implementation, because our customers are ready to actually ensure that it's also paid. However, per kilowatt in data center, it is coming down in terms of how much they get from their customers. At the end of the day, safety is the basic thing which we all have to embrace. I know it comes at certain cost in the initial, but later on it's all about human safety and the various other things which are in the business.
Thank
I
you.
don't